I feel like it's been a little while since we checked in, so here's what I've been drinking so far this year. Welcome back, Dram fam, to the Whiskey Diary. Yeah! As I said, it's been a little while since we've checked in. I've got a wedding coming up. I've just had my stag do, and with all the wedding planning I've had to do, it's just been a little bit hectic. But I've still had time for some drams. So what exactly have I been drinking? I said I would try and get these videos in every so often. I don't feel like doing them every month is all that good. I tend to focus bottles for a little while, so I think every 2 or 3 months is about how it's going to stay. Not the other week I was banging about how much I love auctions for cheap bottles of whiskey. In February I took part in the, I put some bids down on the Scotch whisky auctions. They're based in Glasgow, so I can actually go and collect, so that's super convenient for me. Now I did quite well on that auction. I walked away with 3 bottles there, and I'll be honest, I think I got a fantastic deal on those, and it is always great fun to take a punt. So these first 3 are all independent bottles. First up, we have a 9-year-old Glentockers bottled by Carnmore. This is part of their strictly limited range. It was only 1,700 bottles from 2 casks. I believe it was fully matured in a first fill sherry puncheon. As with many of the Carnmores, it is unchill filtered, it is natural colour, and it is bottled up at 47.5%. This whiskey is absolutely massive. I love Glentockers. Every Glentockers I've had so far has been absolutely fantastic. I dare say I love Carnmore. I've had a few of their bottles now, and I think they're up there in one of those indie bottlers which are bringing fantastic liquid to market and offering some really, really good value for money. This particular one, absolutely love it. Starts super bright, super light, super fruity, loads of like red berries, summer fruits. The palate is just like super juicy, but it just gets just a little bit tannic, and then towards the end and as we go into the finish, it gets really leathery, a little bit spicy. Got some really nice fresh cigar, like fresh tobacco notes coming through, and then all of that juicy fruitiness comes back, almost like a black cherry, a little bit chocolatey. It's absolutely fantastic. And how much did it cost me? This cost me £45. Now I have seen, well, I believe that it was about £54. I can't find any listings for it. I did find one place that apparently it was in euros and it was about £54. And even if that's the case, I feel like I got a fantastic deal. Next up, we have another one of the Carnmore strictly limited range. This particular one here is an 8-year-old Linkwood. This doesn't differentiate between maturation or finishing. It just says sherry butt. One of 1,377 bottles. It is unchill filtered, it is natural colour, and it again is bottled up at 47.5%. Now, Linkwood isn't a distillery I particularly know well. I've had a few, but I know they're a distillery that lots of people tend to be quite passionate about. A lot of people really love Linkwood, and so it's a distillery that whenever I see a good bottle pop up at a good price, I'll try and take a punt, which is exactly one of the reasons why I love auctions. This particular bottle, tons of fresh black pepper on the nose, not really too spicy, just like that fruity element that you get from fresh black pepper. Really nice floral fruitiness. If you've ever had sumac, That is pretty much exactly what the nose on this whiskey kind of comes off as. The main thing here that really got me though, the texture is so rich and oily. The palate hits super thick and fruity, but then almost immediately turns nutty. Almost get hints of like curry leaves if you ever had like fresh curry leaves. As it progresses, a little bit more anise, that sweet sumac note comes back, and then the finish again is just tons of fruit, tons of black pepper. I can really see if this is what Linkwood tastes like, if this is a fingerprint of Linkwood, I can see why people love it. For me, it's just incredibly interesting. I don't drink a lot of whiskies like this, completely unpeated, but tons of those black pepper and kind of dry, spicy notes. It's not a million miles away from your standard issue Speyside, but there's a lot more complexity. You really have to work for it. How much did I get it for? This cost me £50. Now, it was listed on the Master of Malt website. Sold out, unfortunately, but it was listed there for £55, so that's a saving of a fiver, which, to be quite honest, I'm happy with. Next up, we have a 13-year-old Secret Speyside. This was bottled by WM Cadenheads. There is not a lot of information. All we know is that at some point it touched an Oloroso sherry cask. It's bottled up at 46% and it is unchill filtered and it is natural colour. Now, I did do a bit of research online. Some rumours have it that it is a Macallan. Some rumours have it that it is a Glenfarclas. Do I care? Not really. Is it stunning? Absolutely. This is absolutely huge. Tons of those fresh, ripe summer fruits, orchard fruits, loads of Christmas cake in there. Palate is cherryade and leather and like roasted walnuts. Finish, spicy, really almost sickly sweet, loads of brown sugar and dark chocolate. This is a really, really good whiskey. How much did this cost me? Well, this was probably my biggest win of the auction because this only cost me £45. Now, not to say that these aren't great. These two are fantastic. But I have to say, this is almost a league of its own. Again, I did my research. I tried to find a few places. Apparently, some people were paying upwards of £80 a bottle. Some people even saying that they paid upwards of £120. So to get this for 45 quid, I would consider that an absolute win. And last but by no means least, something a little bit interesting. This is the 10-year-old Black Bottle. This is a chill filtered, artificially coloured, blended whiskey that you can pick up in the supermarket, bottled at 40%. So why is it on my list? Because this is the 10-year-old version. I had recently covered the regular Black Bottle in one of my videos about blends, and I liked it. In fact, I liked it a lot for the £19 whatever that you could pick it up for. But I went into Tesco's super late one night. Not too late, we're in Scotland, so you can't buy booze after 10 o'clock. And I saw this on the shelf. I think it was £21, which is insane. But is it worth it compared to the £19 non-age statement version? It really, really is. It's got all of that ashy, salty Coca-Cola vibe that we have from the no age statement version, but this one is just dialed up to 11. It's so much sweeter, it's so much bigger, there's loads more smoke there, but it's not like super peaty, it's like a more bonfire-y smoke. Full disclosure, if I tried this at a blind tasting, I would happily put my name to saying that I believed this was a much more expensive whiskey than it is. I would probably go out there saying, is this a Lecheg? Is this a Is this a Loch Lomond? I may even go as far as to probably pin this down as a Talisker. I would easily be mistaken into believing this is a much higher quality single malt whiskey, but no, this is a £20 blend from Tesco. I really like to think the theme of what I've been drinking the last month or two has been good value. I believe all of these whiskies are fantastic value and really does prove to you, I hope, that I you know, I practice what I preach about finding that good quality cheap whiskey at auctions. But anyway, that's enough from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and an extra special massive thank you to all of my patrons over on Patreon. Let me know down in the comments if you've tried any of these, or if you ever actually are foolish enough to take my advice and go and hit the auctions, and anything that you might have won in any of the recent auctions. I've got a few bids on this month's SWA, so we'll see how they come off. If you've liked this video, please do click the like button, and if you'd like to support the channel, please do consider subscribing. And on that note, Sláinte mhath.